Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Ask Jimmy Smith. Today, I'm really excited to be able to bring to you a video that's actually a part of a series of videos that I did in my private Amazon Replens Facebook group. And that Facebook group is reserved for people that have gone through my Amazon course and have elected to be a part of the membership group, where I ultimately post updated content all the time. We've got over 75 extra videos in that group that's not a part of the course and that's not on YouTube and all these other things that I do, because I like to make sure that there's updated content relevant to the Replens seller, specifically on how to grow and scale their business, but also how to handle different issues that can come up in their business. And so this video is a part of that series of videos regarding account health. And I actually sat down with an expert named Scott Margolius, and he handles account health issues for sellers. He's actually been an e-commerce seller longer than I have, because we started in December of 2015. I don't remember when Scott started specifically, but he's been on the e-commerce platforms and in that world longer than I have. So he has a wealth of knowledge and experience. Now, he does an excellent job at handling these account health issues for people and is the premier expert that I recommend in my group and that I see recommended in so many other e-commerce and specifically Amazon Facebook groups. And one of the reasons for that is because he wrote the book on how to handle account health issues within your Amazon seller account. And the book is actually named Amazon Plans of Action, Proven Tactics for Winning Appeals by Scott Margolius. And I'll put a link to this in the description, as well as a link to his website in the description, which is ecomsellertools.com. Now, Scott was gracious enough to give me 2 hours plus of his time to answer a ton of questions. I believe we went through over 30 different questions. And so what I wanted to do is, while I have these series of videos in my private Amazon Replens Facebook group, I wanted to take a few of them and make a mini series of videos for the general public and general audience on YouTube. And so what you're seeing today is one of those videos. If you'd like to see the rest of them as I post them, I will create a playlist just for account health so that you can go and take a look at some of those questions. And really, they're going to be the more broad questions that appeal to everybody. And so hopefully you find some amazing value in this, as I know you will. Again, if you want to learn anything else about Scott, please head over to his website, ecomsellertools.com. He is just a wealth of information. He's helped me personally and some different things with our Amazon account. And his book has just been instrumental into how we decide to craft our appeals when we are reaching out to Amazon to appeal some of these issues that can crop up. And so I hope that this is a video that you find of value. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and also please comment with questions or any other issues that you might think that you'd like me to cover on this channel. I'd love to hear your comments, and I typically am able to respond to each and every one, at least at the time of this recording. And so thank you so much for watching this. I hope that it blesses you and helps you, and that you have a great rest of your day. What are some preventative measures sellers can take to help reduce these account health issues before the problem arises?
A lot of the time I'll go into an account and look for patterns. To me, wherever I see a large number of specific types of complaints, my first question is, what are they doing there and why? What's generating those? And you want to have that sort of mindset yourself. I mean, it's important to have an understanding of what the baseline of what your account should look like, right? One of the things that I try to do in the account health assessment is to give somebody an idea of what they should expect their account should look like. And then the goal is to maintain it that way. A lot of the time I'll show up, and if you've got all these different complaints and it's a big mess, there's a reason for that. There might be multiple reasons for that. There are causes that, and that's just the problems that you have on your account. All these complaints, they're symptomatic of something. And so it's important to figure out what's causing those things to show up. The types of products that you're sourcing, where you're getting those products, how you're preparing the product. Something's wrong with your warehouse. Maybe you're not packaging things carefully enough. Something's causing these problems. And I try to help people figure out what that is and eliminate that thing so that you don't continue to see these problems show up. So if you need help doing that, that's one thing. If you can do the analysis on your own and determine what's the cause of these things, you ought to be able to address it. You ought to be able to eliminate it. That's a big part of what's going on with your with an effective plan of action, is to figure out what is the root cause of these problems and then tell them what you've done to fix it. You want to actually implement those things you're telling Amazon you've done to be able to prevent these things from happening again. And so the cure is to know what the cause is.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, I know for some other preventative measures, if you're brand new to selling, I've covered this in the replens course, but make sure to not list on listings that have one seller for the lifetime of the listing, or if the seller is the same name as the brand, like that's some other preventative measures. But yeah, you want to make sure that if you're getting a lot of returns for one specific product, we'll look into why. Is it because it keeps breaking? Is it because the packaging isn't done well? I agree with you on that, Scott. And sometimes it can be a prep center issue. You need to make sure that who you're using for a prep center is well vetted too, because sometimes they can get behind and try to speed up their prep center prepping and shipping, and you need to make sure that you're working with them to kind of know what the expectations are for how they're prepping your products as well.
Definitely like the idea of having more than one prep center for multiple reasons. One, it's nice to have a backup. Two, certain prep centers do better with prepping certain types of things. And it can be, the kind of thing where you can boil it down to, I only use this prep center for shoes. I only use this prep center for kitting and bundling, that kind of thing. So there can be advantages to that as well. Some people, it's important for you to know that you're using the wrong kind of labels. Maybe you're not putting the labels on in the right place. You've got to really pay attention to Amazon's packaging guidelines to make sure that your boxes aren't overweight or oversized. There's so many different things to know. And having that knowledge will, keep you from having these problems. So it's like you want to be able to have the right label to say do not separate or sold as a set, or you want to know when's the appropriate time to have a label that says the suffocation warning. The things that you would want to know about when it's appropriate to sell meltables. There are so many different things that are important to know. And I think one of the best ways to gain that sort of expertise is to become an expert in a certain area. Instead of just selling everything, learn as much as you can about a specific thing and become an expert in that niche area. And that can be as simple as, well, what do you know the most about? If you're an enthusiast who loves fishing, and maybe it makes sense to sell products in a category that you are, that's also a hobby for you. It doesn't mean, you're only going to sell fishing gear, or you're only going to sell hunting gear, camping gear, sporting good products. But it sure does make a difference if you know what it is you're selling, and if you have a good idea of what the buyer's looking for, understand the product, understand the whole buyer experience. It makes a big difference to have some semblance of expertise. One kind of specific example would be like when it comes to eBay, and I saw that you just recently were talking about, selling on eBay and all the different aspects of that, which there's a whole lot to it, but it's like, I don't care about dolls. I'm never gonna, no matter how valuable dolls are, and no matter how much I know that there are people looking for them and they have a great deal of collectability, I just don't care. So no matter how many dolls I see at an estate sale or an auction or whatever, I'm just going to ignore it completely. And I might be, and I know I'm passing up, thousands of dollars a year, but I don't care because it's not on my radar, and I don't want to be a doll expert. So that's just, sort of minute example of how you can apply a specific type of expertise to your advantage on Amazon and really multiple other platforms as well.
Yeah, that's really good advice, because I think a lot of people get into, especially replens and arbitrage, and they try to look at everything when it might be better to go really slow in an aisle that you understand. And I think that that's really good advice for new sellers. So next question, Scott, what would you advise new sellers when it comes to sourcing products to help them avoid any potential issues that may come up?
Other than becoming an expert in a specific category or product type,
Mhm.
I think, and I can't emphasize enough how valuable that can be, um, is to think about things differently. Everybody's looking for products the same way. They're using the same software. They're using groups. They're using VAs. They're going through the same process or some programs, and you've got to figure out something that's your own, that works for you, that's hopefully somewhat unique. And doing that it can be challenging, but it's worthwhile. And a lot of that comes back to asking yourself, what do you care about the most? What do you know the most about? What's your background, your skills, your expertise? What are you bringing to the table at this point in your life as a seller, where you're coming out of having a background in a specific area? Well, you should take advantage of that. Don't just abandon that. Some people say, oh, I just like to shop, or I don't know, I worked as a school teacher. I mean, but that doesn't mean that you don't have certain interests or passions or things that you have expertise in, and you should take advantage of that as much as possible. And one of the ways that can be, I think, most beneficial in finding product or being confident about the specific ASINs that you found, or products that match ASINs, or trying to determine whether or not a product is a good purchase, or something that you should spend time investigating, is to have a mentor that you can use to bounce ideas off of, specifically related to sourcing. So I know when I first started buying product, I had somebody I could talk to and say, what I found this product and it seems to match this ASIN, and this is the price point, and this is the price that it's selling for. I think this looks good, but I'm not sure. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on this product. Can you help me analyze this buying decision? And if you have somebody that you can consistently ask that of on a regular basis, it could be extremely beneficial for you to have all of the knowledge and understanding about what makes a good buy. And it can help you avoid a lot of problems, and it can, rapidly increase your expertise in making buying decisions. And so I have somebody I know who's a stockbroker, and they are always looking at the Financial Times, and they're always looking at the Wall Street Journal financial pages, but they're not necessarily buying all of these stocks. They're tracking them over time on paper and seeing if they had purchased this many shares at this price on this date, where would that be today, a year later, or 3 years later, or whatever. They've got all these investments on paper that they never put money into, but over time they have this knowledge of what their portfolio would have looked like if they had purchased that. And it's almost like gamification for them, like playing a board game and continuously improving their knowledge and understanding of the market, and graphs, and how different aspects of the financials work out, and you can kind of gain all of that similar type of expertise with purchasing by putting everything out as a prospective buy. Should I purchase this pen? Is this pen a good purchase? What makes this a good purchase? What should I avoid? It's one thing to look at Keepa and be an expert on, understanding Keepa graphs and that kind of thing, and to, be able to look at different types of software that talked about sales rank and the number of buyers and all that. But there are a lot of different things that you can gain an understanding in by not buying a product, or by having someone that you can talk to about a product before you purchase it, so you don't take unnecessary risks.
Yeah, for sure. And I would echo that too. I think for a lot of people, we can never really under promote the idea of having mastermind groups, or, networking in some way. So going to the Proven Conference and meeting other sellers is one way to do that. Sometimes local meetups, there'll be local Amazon seller meetups in your area, depending on where you live. And if you don't have anybody, then you can post some, basic information without giving away the ASIN in the Replens group or in my silent team. And, just to keep a chart with some basic information, and maybe they can help, people can help from there. So, but if you've got somebody that you can bounce ideas off of, it's definitely going to be helpful. If you've got you really want to go and get a coach, that was helpful for us. Whenever we started in 2015, we were able to ask our coach directly, hey, what's this ASIN? What do you think about this? Is this profitable? Is this a good Keepa chart? Those types of things make a huge difference.
It'd be extraordinarily beneficial to even just have a sourcing coach. Somebody who can look at your existing products and help you have better understanding of what you should or should not be purchasing, or how you could expand that. It's so easy for a seasoned seller to be able to see things that you don't see, and help you have that, ability to see them. That's a unique skill set, and it can be really easy for somebody else to be able to say, hey, have you considered sourcing this way? Have you considered going to this conference or trade show to find this product? There are so many different things that, you might not understand right now when you're, trying to buy a new product, but those are things that can be known, that can be shared with you if you're asking the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. So important to get outside help if you can, and obviously make sure that they are the right people. If it's a bunch of new sellers trying to work together, it might be a little bit more difficult, but still, more minds together can be helpful. You just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page for how to evaluate products at that point. But ultimately, definitely get involved in groups and coaching if you have the desire, the money, the time for that, and make it to the Proven Conference and other conferences to meet other people. That'll help tremendously. Hey, thank you so much for checking out that video with Scott Margolius. He is such a wealth of information. So again, as I mentioned at the beginning, I highly recommend checking out his website, ecomsellertools.com, and also checking out his book, Amazon Plans of Action, Proven Tactics for Winning Appeals. Both resources are amazing, and I highly recommend looking at both of them. Also, as I mentioned, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It would really benefit me and help me to know that I'm doing a good job, that you like this content. And if you'd like to see more from Scott, please let me know in the comments. If you've got any specific questions for him that you'd like to see him answer, please let me know that too. I do plan on making and sending more of these onto YouTube, some of the mini videos. And so I will have that playlist available to you, and it might actually already be available to you depending on when you see this video. So thank you so much for watching this, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.